You ever come up near somebody, you just walk the other direction. You don't say a word. You're not thinking about anything. All you know is that you got to get away from that person. You ever have that? Everything in you screams out, get away. Many of the doorways that protected us are opened. They're really opened. And I know for the most part, people don't have a belief on the level of which I'm talking. I realize that. But it's good that you hear it, right? Because one day things will transpire very soon. I can't give it years, right? I can't do that. I would have a few years ago, but now it's just far too close. Now it's way too close. And people are going to have to experience this, right? The people of the world are going to have no defense. But you will be that defense. And you all have to be ready to stand in this world, but in your victory with absolute trust and faith, right? How do you stay in faith? Not moving with these negative connotations that come into your mind. Don't react to them. Don't act on them. Refuse them and don't agree with them. Refuse them. Refuse them. Okay, let me go back. I thought I saw another one. Let's see. Let me see what this is. Hold on, guys. Let me see. I lost my, what do you know they would do? Oh, there we go. I got you. All right, so that's that. All right, guys, so we have that topic covered. In the upcoming days, first of all, this conversation we're having tonight, right, is like an entry level to some dockets, to a few dockets, right? It's for consideration because it's my belief that many of you will experience what we have talked about tonight, right? All of us have to learn not to operate in fear. How will the Lord do that? How will he get us not to operate in fear? Anybody? Somebody said, I think you're tired, Brother Mike. Oh, yes, I am. I am tired. But I want you guys to understand the purpose of tonight, right? It's a foundation for what you're going to have to deal with. It's just like this Planet X thing, right? People talk about Planet X. Do you know what it says clearly in the text? Can I share with you guys what it says in the text? In too many places, by the way. And most of the time, this is not popular. Nevertheless, it is documented. And pictures are even shown. Pictures that you've not seen before, but you will see this year. Not by me, but by the world. First of all, there is a procedure that will happen above your heads before Planet X gets here. It is an influx of things that will prepare people for the crossing. You guys have heard about the crossing. Now, ironically, in this text, Nibiru is not called Nibiru. It's not. The destroyer is called the destroyer. But how it functions is not, is just not given. So it's not like a giant, it's not like, some of these people think that something will pass of no consequence. In all these texts, it keeps saying that this place is inhabited by things that will come right to this world and inflict damage on it. So think about an inhabited place with less than generous things coming off of it. And they come right here. The closer they get, the more will jump off on the face of the earth. You know, the name that's given in culture names that planet or this object or this thing. And clearly in one of the seals, or not seals, but one of the trumpets, it says that 1/3 of the night was darkened. And of course, 1/3 of the moon and of the sun, right? So something has parked itself between Earth and everything else. If a part of the sky is missing, if it's missing, that'd be no different than you standing outside looking up at the sky. In order to make part of the sky to vanish, you had to put your hand in front of your face close enough, right, so it covers most of the sky. To understand that concept, that means something is going to park itself very close to Earth. But that will also be the departure time. You guys see how that works? Some of the stories of this object, the destroyer that's coming in, right? There are things on it. And it's very consistent. When it mentions this and all these different cultures, it gives you an indication of what's happening, right? Something is there, something that will come here. And one of the interpretations of this word, because it's dark, not only is it called, in certain languages, it is the fiery serpent, right? What is it called? The mouth of void or something like that. One of the cases are. But the other part, the description, is what really gets you. It looks like the blackness of all blackness being the main body. So dark it absorbs all light. And around it is a red hue with flames, right? Red flames. And red flames that hit our atmosphere, but which light up when it hits our atmosphere and starts cooking the ground. You know what they call that void? We call that some sort of a object that has a black hole in the center. They were calling that the bottomless pit. Isn't that strange? Can you imagine if something like that came by and things started falling off onto this world? Right? Wouldn't be such a poetic thing then, wouldn't it? God means destroyer. In Jeremiah, when he said the destroyer of the Gentiles is on its way. Well, folks, you have that? That's not going to be a good thing, right? And I think it is my belief that the Vatican is highly aware of this. It is. I believe that they are always preparing for it because they don't have control over that situation. But how can the average citizen do so? They can't. Those stories are ignored. The sciences are ignored. They just are. Right? But we're going to find it. We're going to find out quick about those things. I believe that a whole lot sooner than later. Folks, let me see what you got there. Oh, that's not for me. Okay, folks. So other than that, you guys have that general piece. Now, listen, I'm going to continue this conversation tonight with a follow-up in writings. I think I'm going to throw that in with the packet that will be available Wednesday. For anybody who wants it on COT, right? The more who participate in that packet that will be available Thursday or Wednesday, the better. But we'll follow up with this conversation because spiritual, knowing where you are spiritually, knowing what you have agreed with in the darkness, right, can give answer to what's happening in your life right now. If that can be broken and you can assert your situation in the Lord, which means make more informed decisions, smart ones, but understand that in this world that we live in right now, what is right in the world is just simply, obviously, not right unto the Most High. So we got to be careful to make that distinction. not to agree with the darkness, but to always agree with Christ. And make an effort to remember that every time you make a decision. Just simply ask yourself, am I in agreement, right, with anger or violence or whatever the case is? And hopefully you can reevaluate your circumstances. Discern what is around you, right? Even other folks, you have that ability. But certainly make good decisions based off that. Folks, we're going to continue this later on this week. If you guys don't mind, if you don't mind, I look forward to this question packet. That's going to be quite interesting. And I hope that many of you participate. I do. Let's all get some rest and wake up and do this one more time. Can we do that? Oh, and we didn't even discuss war. That, of course, that's going to be around, but the spiritual things that are now operating, they're becoming overwhelming, as the news will reflect tomorrow. You'll see some of that reflection tomorrow. But I'll join you all, tell you all about that and a few more things. I will. I'll do that tomorrow. We'll have another midnight hour, possibly even tomorrow night. Certainly Tuesday we're going to have one. Tuesday and probably Wednesday we'll have one. Midnight hour. But remember tonight's discussion. And remember, as always, these midnight hours are to discuss those things that I cannot give to a general audience. But certainly for people who are somewhat bothered by some of these spiritual things. We get write-ins, even though we haven't had a midnight hour in a while. People actually apply things to their lives and are, a lot of people have difficulty with it at first, meaning they don't want to do it. And then they struggle with it, attempt it. The Lord takes over and some good comes of it. So I hope you guys witness that good also. When any of your situations are absolutely undone, right? That liberty comes back into your life and that you're no longer in agreement with anything in the darkness, but you do stand in the liberty of Christ. You will be helpful for all of those, right, who are duped right now, because they won't have an answer here shortly, but you will. So hopefully you'll be of good in the area that you're in. They know who you are. They will come find you. Represent the Lord in all of what you do as best you can. And you're doing all right when you do so. God bless and keep you guys. I'm going to see you next time right here at the Council of Time. Let's all get some rest. See you guys next time right here at COT.